The temperature is heating up, new summer shows are dropping hot, and summer con season is finally upon us. Well, if you have ever faced the crowds like we saw a couple years back at Anime Expo, you are no stranger to what's to come. But I'm here to help you get ready for your next con, so let's talk tips about surviving. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another Blurred Bay Thursday. I am her, and I'm so excited for you to be here. I really love going to conventions every single year, and after hosting Anime Expo for the last 2 years, I really want to share some tips and advice with you all about getting through your next con season. So let's get into it. And listen, I'm not trying to give you the basic have fun tips. Listen, we're trying to really get into it and how to survive, because it is a survival skill getting through a convention, okay? Tip number 1, bring a refillable water bottle, preferably with water, but if you like to partake in a little sugary drink, I'm not mad at it, but try to keep that to a minimum because it's gonna be hot outside. Everywhere is hot right now. If you plan to wait in any lines, especially lines to get into the convention, you wanna make sure you have water on deck. Do yourself a favor, do your body a favor, and bring yourself a water bottle. Also bring some snacks as well if you do plan on standing in some of the long lines, waiting to get to panels, going inside, whatever it might be. It'll save you in the long run and possibly some money as well. Healthy snacks are obviously great choices. Tip number 2, I see a lot of people talking about bring your friends, do this, friends. But to be totally honest, yes, cons are very fun with friends, but you do not need to have a bunch of friends to bring with you to a convention. It is perfectly acceptable to go by yourself. You really might make friends being in line at the con. You might make friends doing cosplay meetups. You might make a friend eating lunch. You might even sit next to someone at the panel that you go to that might be your husband or wife. You really never know. Don't put a bunch of pressure on yourself, especially if you're somebody who does not have a bunch of friends that share the same hobbies as you do. Go to the con, have a good time. And to be honest, you sometimes may be able to get access to things that some people wouldn't just because you're by yourself. I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to a smaller con or a larger one, and I am just one person. They say the room is completely full, and then you kind of weasel your way up if you see somebody walk out the door and be like, hey, can I just squeeze in? It's just me. And sometimes the security will let you come through. So honestly, it does not hurt to be solo dolo on the con trip. I personally really enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with it. And to be honest, it's a little uncomfortable at first, but you'll soon realize that, hey, everybody is there just to have a good time. There's no pressure, and maybe you'll make a friend or two there. I do want to stress though, if you do choose to go to your cons by yourself, please be safe as possible. Watch your surroundings, look left or right if you leave the convention late, especially if you have to walk back to your car at night by yourself. Do everything you can to try to be safe. Call a friend on your walk if you're walking in the dark. If you really feel like somebody is following you or something like that, talk to a security guard or talk to a police officer at the con. Definitely take those measures if you are somebody that feels like someone's kind of following you or something like that. Tip number 3, this is a piece of advice that I personally take for myself, but I am going to give to you. If you start to feel a little overwhelmed by the crowds or just the lines or all of it, because it is sensory overload, go to a panel or a screening and sit in the back of the room. Even if you don't care what they're talking about, it's probably some valuable information being shared, but find you one of those panels that's a little low key, a little less crazy, so you can just gather your energy. Maybe you can charge your phone, bring a portable charger if you can, but charge your phone, to eat your snacks, and just regain your energy, because it's a long day. A convention is a very, very long day, sometimes weekend. So if you can find a smaller room to just hang out with, the people probably won't bother you if you're sitting in the back, just hanging out. Maybe occasionally look up so you can seem like you care. But that's why I prefer going to a screening, for example. Last year at Anime Expo, they had Slam Dunk. And a lot of people didn't show up, but it was a great room to just chill sit in. It had great AC. It was a massive auditorium. So it was really the perfect room to recharge, rest, and just get your bearings to go back into the madness that is an anime convention. So points number 4 and 5 kind of go hand in hand just a bit, but I am going to separate them. So my tip number 4 is to plan ahead, especially when you're going to the vendors or artist alley. Tip number 5, just in general, plan as much as you can in advance. 9 times out of 10, the convention will release the panel schedule or the list of conversations that are going on. Some of the larger conventions like Anime Expo, Anime NYC, DreamCon actually have apps that accompany the event. So download some of those and then select which panels you want to go to, select which screenings, events, etc. And then you'll get a notification right to your phone, so you'll always stay on track, always stay on schedule. And you can also block out time to eat. I cannot stress how important it is to stay full throughout the weekend. If you don't take anything else from this video, take that, no one step away. But really try to plan as much as you can. Allow for some flexibility as well. But if you plan the day out, you might not have to buy a weekend badge or the next day badge. You may be able to get to everything you want to do just in one day. Tip number 6. This tip is really for people who plan to go to those anime adjacent conventions. So the DreamCons, VidCons, TwitchCons. Do not expect preferential treatment to meet your favorite creators just because you bought a ticket. A lot of the major cons force you to pay for a meet and greet. A lot of the cons that are the creator ones kind of don't make you do that. Some of them do. A lot of the creators, if they stop and take photos and just engage with their fans, it's really just because they're doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. Their schedule is jam-packed. They have events, they have games, they have meet and greets, they have sponsor obligations. All of those things take up a lot of time. And the reality is, it's not guaranteed. Simple as that. It's not guaranteed. And I think it's really important to know that, especially for those of us that just attend conventions as fans and just to enjoy them. Really go to have fun. Really go to listen to the panels. Just go for the experience. Go because you love the genre that you're supporting, or you really do love their content. But don't get on social media and post your think piece about why you hate the con because you didn't get to meet your favorite creator when it was a free meet and greet and 1,000 people lined up 30 minutes before and you got there 5 minutes before. Don't wreck the reputation of a con just because you have one negative experience. And then of course people are going to jump on the bandwagon just because it's something negative online. Genuinely think about the whole scope of the event versus one moment that didn't go the way you wanted it to go. Tip number 7 is, of course, a cosplay tip. Plan your cosplay in advance as much as you can. Try to collect any items, any outfits, any pieces, jewelry. Make it if you can. Do that yesterday. Start that planning process yesterday because it takes so much longer than you think. The date for your con will be upon you sooner than you believe, okay? It's gonna come super fast. So don't miss out on a cute opportunity to cosplay just because you procrastinated. Been there, done that, take my advice, please. And a bonus tip, this isn't specific to cosplayers, but this is a part of the cosplay advice. Prepare for wardrobe malfunctions. Listen, I cannot stress that enough. Try to have extras, maybe something like a sewing kit, anything you can have to try to make your mind be at ease when something goes wrong with your outfit. Because it's bound to happen. It happens with regular clothes. It's probably more likely to happen with a cosplay. And not every convention will have a cosplay repair station. It is definitely a privilege to have that set up at a con, but it's not guaranteed. And it's definitely not guaranteed that the cosplay repair station will actually have everything that you need. So take me for example. I hosted Anime Expo last year and I broke a nail. I'm obviously not in cosplay because I'm one of the show hosts, but I did not have nail glue with me. So thankfully one of the security guards said, hey, try the cosplay repair station, they might have glue. And thankfully that they did, and I was able to glue my nail back together. but it just speaks to the fact that if even I was prepared for a nail to break, that would have been a little bit easier on my mind. A lot of the smaller conventions may not have the budget to expand to a cosplay repair station. Lots of the larger ones do, but just something to keep in mind as you prepare and you pack for your next con. And my final word of wisdom for your next convention is you do not have to buy the weekend badge. Obviously, it's very popular to buy the weekend badge, go every day, just be in the madness every day, but sometimes those of us with a short social battery get drained fast. So in my humble opinion, it is better to plan, it is better to be prepared for one day of a con than wasting that extra money that you worked very hard for. Listen, in this economy, it ain't cheap getting to an anime convention. Hotel, Ubers, flights, you name it. It is so worth it to save that money because maybe you could use that extra $100 to buy yourself something else at Artist Alley or with one of the vendors or something like that. Unless it's one of the bigger cons, I highly recommend getting the full weekend badge because it really does give you the full experience. But if you're going to one of your local smaller conventions, maybe just check out one day, and then if you do decide, oh, there's something else I missed, there's a panel I really want to listen to, really weigh the benefit of driving back, finding the crowd, pouring through all the people to see a 30-minute panel that maybe not worth it. So I hope you really enjoyed these tips. Let me know what I missed down in the comment section below. I would love to talk about it, would love to get your thoughts, or let me know what con you plan to attend this summer, this season for anime or content creation just in general. And hey, if you did enjoy this video, you may also enjoy this video right here. If I don't see you in this video up next, I'll see you next week for another episode of the Blur Bay Thursday. So until then, bye.